Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Angel, aka The Angelic Muse, and as you can see, I am back with another pick a card reading. In this one, we are going to be tapping into what it is that your person that you are currently not in contact with is thinking, how they are feeling, whatever we can pick up on regarding the situation between you and them. We're going to get into it right now. So as you can see, we have 3 oracle piles for you to choose from. And then the tarot is up here. I'm going to be live shuffling that on camera. So we have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. So if you would like to pause the video now so that you can tap into your intuition and decide on whichever pile you gravitate towards, whether that is one or all 3 piles is entirely up to you. However, if you don't gravitate towards any of them, then that simply means this is not your reading. However, I do hope you go over to my channel and check out those videos because maybe one of those will resonate with you more. So as always, the timestamps will be down below so that you can skip right over to whichever pile or piles you and your intuition agree on, or the image on the screen. And also down below in the description box will be my booking info. So if you want to book a personal session with me, you can do that down below. And I think that's about it. So as always, I thank you all so much for being here. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you at your pile. All right, pile 1, we are going to get into your reading now. So we're going to live shuffle the tarot first, see what we pick up on there. Oh, ready to come out. 10 of Swords, and then we're going to go from there with your oracle. So we got the 10 of Swords first. That shot right out. So how's pile 1's person currently feeling? What are they thinking? Okay. I don't know if I'm going to take all that. Yeah, that's too much. The person might have a lot to say. I will say that. Pile 1's person. What are they thinking? How are they feeling regarding the situation? All right, well, I guess it's just a 10 of Swords. Like, just kidding. Let's see. Let's see. I feel like your person has a lot to say, but they don't want to say it. Ace of Pentacles. Okay, let's get 2 more for pile 1's person. They're currently not in contact with. What is this person? Okay, I'm going to take these 2 because they kind of like... Okay, I just dropped the rest anyway. I'm not doing that. I really feel like your person has a lot to say. Okay, and then we have the 7 of Wands. And we have Temperance. I'm going to go pick those cards up though. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back, y'all. So also, back of the deck, I picked up the cards and I was like, I might as well just... Back of the deck is Judgment. So, first of all, this person you're in no contact with, did you guys kind of have like some sort of out during Mercury retrograde? Because with this Judgment card, I just feel like that card in itself reminds me of Mercury retrograde, like redoing something, revisiting something. Like, I feel like maybe there was some sort of like miscommunication, and it might have been, I don't know why the word petty is coming to my mind. It might not have been petty to you, might not have been petty to them, but I mean, like in the grand scheme of things, when you look back at a certain situation, you know, sometimes you're like, well, that was petty. Like, it wasn't even that serious. Or maybe it was in the moment, and then like as time goes on, like you just feel like, whoa, it really wasn't that deep. And especially if it's someone you have history with, you kind of got to ask yourself those questions. Like, is this something that we could have gotten past once the heat of the moment, because I'm getting like hot, the heat of the moment like subsided and like kind of the fire went out. So how your person's thinking, what are they feeling? Obviously with this 10 of Swords energy, they feel like shit. They may feel like, damn, I can't take it anymore. Like, what? And not necessarily like life or anything, but just maybe they're tired of, I get like this cycling energy from this pile. Like, it's like it's something that keeps happening over and over again. And it's like, damn, like how many times is this going to happen before like it just completely ends? And maybe they feel like this is the end of you guys. They feel like there's not much more that they can take on their end, whether they're the person who is, whether you both are wrong in your own ways, or maybe they're wrong entirely. And it's like, damn, I really hurt this person, and now I'm stuck in a situation where it's like I constantly do this to myself. Like, not maybe not just with you, but just with people in general. Maybe they constantly self-sabotage or sabotage situations. I do see them here. I feel like with this Ace of Pentacles next to the Seven of Wands, I feel like it's almost like they kind of have like this face of like I don't want to be seen as weak. I don't want to be seen as like, because like this is obviously somebody coming in with an offering. I'm not sure maybe if you've made attempts to speak to them and they kind of were not necessarily cold, but just like they have like this image that they want to protect. Or, and even if you didn't come in, it's almost as if you did, there would be a sort of defensive energy that they'd have, and not necessarily towards you, but just like, you know, somebody is wrong in a situation and then they feel like, not that it's not like they have their guard up because they're afraid you're going to do something, but they're more so like, I still have this image I need to protect. I don't want to seem weak. I don't want to seem like this person just said hey to me, and now I'm like, oh hey, like, you know, kind of like they still would have some sort of like face on. And with the Temperance card, the Temperance is you got the Temperance and Judgment, but that's the back of the deck. I feel like with Temperance being at the end, I do feel like they want to figure out a way back in, but like it has to be the right way. It has to be the perfect way. Like it has to, and there is no such thing as perfection, but like in their mind, they have it to where it's like, I can't just rush back into this thing because we, like, it's like I said, I feel like this recycling energy with this group where it's like, we constantly go through this. And if I rush back in, I could throw this whole thing off balance. And if they were to come to me, which I don't think they think you're going to, I feel like they feel like this pile gives me the feeling of like if they saw your YouTube history and saw you watching this, they'd be like, wow, they were watching that. Like, you know, they wanted to know that bad. Like, you know, and I feel like they may think that you have like some, like you may be mirroring each other in a sense when it comes to like this defensiveness, and not in a, like I said, not in a way where it's like cold, but it's more so just like, I gotta protect myself at the end of the day. So whether this was a mutual like thing or this was just one-sided, you both still do have some mirroring aspects here. And not only that, when I saw the word judgment, I thought of like, again, like having this face on where it's like, I don't want to be judged, I don't want to be looked at or seen as vulnerable. I'm going to keep this wall up because if I let it down, then I'm just going to seem like I was waiting for this, and I don't want to come off that way. So they may be playing like that, not hard to get, but just like, I guess it would be hard to get, but it's like, it's not in a way where it's like cute, if that makes sense. It's not a cute way. It's more so like, well, are we going to talk or not, you know? So yeah, I just feel like, but at the root of it, when they go down to sleep at night, they're definitely feeling this absence, your absence, the whatever it is that made them feel good between you two. They're definitely lacking in that department, but they're not in a space where they're trying to build in a positive way. It's not necessarily negative. It's just kind of like stagnant, where they're just like, I want to leave it up to you, but I don't. And that's why I'm trying to take my time and come in and build this in the perfect way. Like, I want to balance it out and make sure it's like we're both on the same page, and it's not just me wanting this or just them wanting it more than me. We have to like really see eye to eye on this thing. But let's look into your oracle cards and see what they are. Well, we got Judgment again. It says, I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. And then we have Root Girl, the disowned self. And then we have, nothing will come of this situation. Void of course moon. And we have ascendant entrance. So yeah, the first thing I want to point out, even though I pulled it last, is this ascendant entrance card. Because when you think of the first house, that's like the face of the birth chart. Like that's how you are perceived outwardly by the world. Like that is who you are. Like that's like the ego. And I think I was saying something about the ego. Yeah, with this 7 of Wands, like it's not, or maybe I wasn't, but I was thinking it if I didn't say it. But it's like you want to protect your ego. You want to not be seen as like, you don't want to be so in your feelings about the situation, so you mask it behind this facade. And even with this Root Girl, the disowned self, there's like part of them that they're denying when it comes to the situation. Maybe they have like, and like it's like it's not self-taught. It's like learned behavior from their past, from what they've seen growing up. You know, it could be anything, but it's a part of them that they're not willing to admit plays a part in this disconnection here. And until they see that, they're not going to be able to merge the two, like where they feeling this way at night, but then outwardly during the day, they're like going about their business in a way where you wouldn't think, like you both wouldn't, you're mirroring that within each other too, within yourselves. Where it's like, I don't want to seem bothered by this. I'm not going to, but it's like, it's okay to be bothered by something at the end of the day. Nobody's saying you got to wear your heart on your sleeve, but like to be able to express yourself is something that you want to be able to do. You want to be able to do it in a healthy way and actually get your point across. And I feel like until this person is able to actually sit with every part of themselves, every aspect of themselves, then they're not going to be able to do this. But again, with this, nothing will come out of this situation. This is me thinking, like, remember when I said something about an offer? If you were to come in with an offer, or if they feel like if they came in with an offer for you, that it wouldn't go anywhere. There would be this defensive, like this wall there that kind of stops it from happening. And I think that's where their mind is at right now, where they're just like, that's why they're in this place where they're like trying to find a perfect balance. Because as far as this situation goes, like it's like, no, I got to come in with something new. I got to come in with something fresh, and I got to come in with something that is healthy. Because I feel like that is what that's just kind of where their angle is. And until they're able to do that or face that within themselves, then you'll just be left with, the distance. And interestingly enough, like I said, you got the Judgment card here and here, but it's weird because they're both spelled different ways. This one uses the E and this one does not. And then this one talks about understanding that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. But when you're looking at, like, if there's a wall up and you have like a defensive energy, it's like, how do you understand that everyone has their own unique? It's like they're not trying to understand the other side of the situation. Or maybe this is you and it's just mirroring, take it how it applies. I want to read these two out of the book. You have nothing will come out of the situation. And that one, let's see. It says, I'm just going to read the teaching. It says, the main definition of a void of course moon is when the moon won't make a major connection with any of the planets until she enters the next sign. The best thing you can do when you get this card is to chant the Sanskrit words Namo Narayani, which means I surrender to the divine. A void of course moon is time to just be. So let me see. It's interesting because it says this card may or may not be good news depending on what you're asking. For example, if you're worried about something, whatever it was, this card can be taken as a sign that there's nothing to worry about. However, if you're asking about a new project of any kind, including a new relationship, it's a sign to adjust your expectations or change things so you get a different outcome. Yes, and that's what I was saying with this Temperance card. They're trying to come in because whatever this is, it has not died, but it's like evolved into something else. And again, if this is something that's been repetitive, like if it's something you guys constantly go through, it feels almost like they're tired of doing things in the same way. So it's like, I got to do it differently. Like, I can't, this, whatever this is, it has to just kind of die off. Not that we won't discuss it later on in the future, but we're going to do that in a healthier way, because, you know, if we don't, then, you know, it's again, you're going to just be met with distance. And then again, with the first house, with this saying entrance too, this is like, again, like, not you, I have to have a way in. So like, I don't know if this is you that is creating this wall or if it's them. I feel like it's a lot of mirror energy in here, and I don't know how to, like, really, I don't know you personally, so I can't really say, like, and I don't have conversations with you, but as this being a general reading, I feel like it's like ping-ponging type energy, where it's like, sometimes it's you, sometimes it's them, sometimes it's both of you. Like, it's weird. So again, take this as it resonates. This one's a little murky, but either way, somebody's not letting the other person in. So if this is you reading this and you're wondering where they are in their head, if you were to just have a conversation with them, you could definitely get this information out of them themselves. Even if it took a while to get it, it still would eventually come out or show itself in a way where you can, like, decipher that at the very least. Like, you would see the signs, even if they didn't verbally come out and say, yeah, I'm feeling Ten of Swords energy at night, I can't sleep at night, but, you know, they might have a wall up, but then the more you talk about it in a calm, healthy way, then the better conversation you'll have, obviously. So, and they may even open up to you about whatever this disowned part of themselves is that they don't really have the courage to tap into. And it's almost like I said, with these two cards being spelled differently, they have two totally different meanings. I feel like even the spelling is no coincidence, that the fact that they're spelled differently but they're the same word. It's like you both are trying to reach the same goal, but just different ways. And it's just about, like, perception or perspective even. And, you know, so let's see. And this says ascendant entrance, represented by the number 35, which also dwindles down to 8, which also is the in the Rider-Waite for temperance. It's like, that's the infinity symbol, which is represented by 8, but it's also about flowing and, like, evenness, like some sort of, like, equilibrium. I think that there's just balance that's needed here. It says the challenge is that the front door is only one part of the house. Be willing to look beyond appearances and into the heart, but don't count on others' ability to do so too. So this is about not expecting yourself and other people, but also going deeper. So, like, I think it's important to ask yourself, when you're doing the work, are you doing it for other people or are you doing it for yourself? Because essentially, without other people, you still have to do that work. You're still going to be met with those experiences where it's like, okay, I got to do this work or move forward. So it's about going deep, whether the other person does it or not. It's about tapping into your emotions, whether the other person does or not. So if this is, again, mirroring energy where you're like, I don't want to be seen a certain way. It's like, well, why don't you want to? It's asking yourself the hard questions. Why do you feel so uncomfortable being vulnerable? Even if the other person isn't, if that's just who you truly are and that's truly how you feel, why are you shying away from that? That's a challenge. And then it says the action is, how do you see the world? Take a long look at the assumptions and presumptions through which you filter your experience of reality. Really look at how your privilege, trauma, or certain attributes of your history can distort the reality of the moment. Do what you can to dismantle those obstructions so you can see the whole view. Open that aperture. Conversely, look carefully at the signals you send off. Do they match your intent? Do you say you're fine when you really need a hug? Are you trained to sound modest or apologetic when really you know what you're doing? Do you act like you know what you're doing when you don't? Notice what you project onto the world and take responsibility for how you are seen. The ascendant is where you become visible. If this makes you nervous, investigate what needs to be healed or where you need to grow your confidence in order to feel comfortable being seen. If you are asking about a project, look for what needs to be repaired or improved before you hold a press conference. That's what I'm saying to you. You got to be able to heal those parts of yourself. They have to be able to heal them parts of themselves too. I feel like since this is a reading based off, and that was a direct message, presumably for them, but they're not here to listen to it. So maybe if the conversation was to ever invite itself back in, and you two did find a way back into some to a contact situation, you could have that and like really just get down to not, I don't know what I was going to say, get down to their level. Not to say they're beneath you or anything like that. I would definitely not put that in the air. Out in the air. If there's something that's their fault, maybe their actions were beneath you, and it's not something that you really want to deal with. But you're here, you're listening to this, so there's some part of you that is willing to, either you're just being really nosy, or you want to know so that you can see if you can make a move or not. If you did come in, there would be defensive energy. Again, not anything on you, but just in general, like they just don't know how to maneuver without having that shell or that mask on. So Power 1, this is what I'm getting for you. If this resonates, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Also, don't forget my booking link is in the bio or the description box if you want to book personal sessions with me. I am available. But other than that, I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day or your night. All right, Pile 2, welcome to your reading. So we're going to get into your tarot first. We're going to shuffle and see what we pick up on. And then from there, we're going to go into your oracle. So, all right, Pile 2's person started talking already. The Hanged Man, the Chariot. We're just going to get 2 more. How does the person Pile 2 is currently in no contact with feeling? What are they thinking regarding this situation? How are they feeling? What are they thinking? We already got the Hanged Man and the Chariot. The 6 of Wands. And the World card. Back of the deck is the 9 of Pentacles. So, I think your person is definitely thinking about trying to find a way back in. I feel like right now they're in this space of like they're uncomfortable. They're uncomfortable with being alone. They're not necessarily. They're not uncomfortable being alone. They're uncomfortable being lonely. I think they're in a lonely energy right now. I think they'd be fine if like you guys never, I don't want to say never met, but like if there was no wedge between you two and it was just like, oh, we're not talking, like we're just going about our business for a moment, but we're on good terms, they would be okay. That's why I said they're not bad with being alone, but lonely energy is what I'm getting from this Hanged Man. But also they're learning. They're in this space of learning and growing and finding peace in the uncertainty of their lives right now. I think with this Chariot, the reason I feel like they're coming in is because I feel like this is how they see you at the end. I think they feel like you're done with the situation. You are currently in a space of like, and maybe you're just here out of curiosity. I'm not picking up on like a energy, like not a needy energy. It's just more so just like, oh, I'm just curious. How do they feel? So I feel like they think you're good alone. I feel like they think you have a lot of suitors, a lot of people that could potentially want to deal with you or just be around you or in your space. And so with the 6 of Wands energy moving into the world, I feel like this is you. This is them willing to kind of battle it out and see their way to the top. Like make sure that they are the one that you're looking at. Make sure that you're the one that they're checking for, because whatever it was that caused us to be in no contact, I feel like they're willing to overcome it, to do whatever it takes in order to make things right. Because this Chariot card talks about forward movement and kind of like mind over matter type energy. And it's like, okay, at the end of the day, I'm gonna take whatever necessary steps as well as whatever necessary precautions is what I'm hearing. So maybe like, maybe they misstepped somewhere. Yeah, definitely with this 9 of Pentacles energy, but maybe they misstepped somewhere. Maybe they messed this up. Maybe they kind of ghosted you or just kind of left you in a space where you just weren't sure, and they didn't expect you to I don't know why I'm getting this. They didn't expect you to be like okay with their absence. And because you were, they're like, oh shoot, like this isn't the person that I thought they were. So, you know, I'm not sure if you came off like, I don't want to say strong. You could have, but I'm not sure if you came out strong or just kind of had, that's what it may be. You may have had different expectations than them to begin with, and now they're realizing like, oh wow, like that's actually what I do want, and I want to fix this. I want to come back in and fix this. I want to tap into your tarot, but this Nine of Pentacles energy just tells me like they view you, or they're thinking of you in a way where it's like you're super confident, you're super sure of yourself. And not that they're not too, like I said, they're in a space of like, this could definitely be their same energy to where, like I said, they're finding comfort in the uncertainty of their life, because I feel like they had certain parts of themselves that they weren't willing to like own up to, and like this time spent with you know, being out of contact with you has caused them to like have certain conversations with themselves, or just have come to certain realizations where it's like, oh wow, okay, well now that that's out the way, I'm willing to step back up and make sure that Pile 2 is on my radar, or I'm on their radar as much as they're on mine. Let's see, we're going to pull your oracle cards and see what we say. We got surrender. I can release my need to control, but it's in reverse. This is someone who's definitely like competitive. That's the word. The wall, obstacles, represented by number 56. A new romantic cycle begins. New moon in Libra. And then, let me put these up here. And then we have fourth house, home. I'm going to do this. I don't remember how I had power ones. Either way, we're going to work with it. Let's do it. I'm all shuffling y'all stuff around. See, it's getting something in order. Something's getting in order. Something is getting itself in order. Something, or someone, rather, I should say. So, I want y'all to be able to see these. Yeah, with this surrender, I can release my need to control. I feel like they're not in a place. They're like, nah, not backing down off this one. Like, I'm coming in strong. Like, and I don't want there to be no contact between us. I want to have the conversation. I want to be in Pile 2's life. And the new romantic cycle, new moon in Libra, just confirms it. Like, they're willing to balance these scales out. Like, they weren't in the same headspace that they were then at the time of no contact that they are now. And no, so whether this is something you want or not, you could just be in some sort of relationship now. You could be dealing with someone else now. But it's showing me that someone still wants to. Wow, it's so crazy because my camera keeps, I don't know if Pile 1 was doing this. I wasn't paying attention to it, but my camera just keeps going in and out of focus. And I feel like I said it in another, like, I mean, I just realized, I feel like when certain stuff happens, it's for a reason. Like, it ties into the reading. And with the camera not being able to focus, or like it just going in and out of focus, rather, I feel like that ties into them like really honing in on what it is that they want. Like I said, they're trying to find this, they're learning and they're unlearning and they're building and breaking down, and like that makes sense. Like, they've done like a full shift just to, not only for you but for themselves, like not only for this connection but for themselves. And I feel like this like I said, them being without you has caused them to say, like, see, like, oh wow, he or she can do just fine without me, and I'm fine alone, but I don't want to be lonely. For some reason, when it comes to you, I feel like they get this lonely energy. Maybe you feel like home to them. You do have the fourth house, home. I'm going to read it out the book in a minute, but I get a sense of like peace that they felt with you that they don't feel with anyone else. And, you know, they could be surrounded by people and still feel lonely. It's like, but they wouldn't get that if they were just with you. And I feel like they're holding you in high regard. They think of you as someone in high regard. They think of you as someone that has it all, and who can, may even think you're done with the situation. They may think like, oh, wow, she is so preoccupied, or he is so preoccupied by all these other things that they don't even have time for me. But again, I'm willing to break past these walls and obstacles. Like, I'm not going to see them as walls and obstacles. They're just challenges that I need to get through in order to get through to pile two. You see me rapping? Yeah, so I'm a rapper now. Let me read this out of the book though. 42 home says, the challenge says, let your home be a sanctuary that helps you prepare to deal with the world, not a place in which you hide from the world. And then the action says, come home and make a sanctuary, or make it a sanctuary. Create a place to renew and to live an intimate, authentic life. Home is an emotional space more than a physical address, but both matter. In the practical realm, it may be time to renovate, reorganize, or move in the physical realm, or to negotiate boundaries with a roommate. Create a home that feels safe and renewing at the end of the day, where you're truly off stage so you can drop your guard and refill your wells. The fourth house also speaks of existential homesickness, of a longing for a home you've never had. If you don't have a map from childhood to create sanctuary, make one. Be ready to do the next layer of therapy or tend to some work around family karma. Think about how you would like to have been parented rather than how you were parented, and use that as a model for self-care. In the spiritual realm, build or visualize a meditation place, a portable sanctuary that can be home to your spiritual practice. Explore the quiet depths of your meditation. Drop down to your hara, to your center of gravity, and renew your connection to the earth beneath, the sky above, and spirit within. If you're asking about a project, check that it is well situated. Make sure the people involved feel safe and have a healthy work-life balance. On all these levels, develop a healthy approach to bring a project to conclusion and know when to stop. So I know I just said a mouthful, but pretty much the things that stuck out to me: home is an emotional space more than a physical address, but both matter. Like I said, I feel like if you two actually did live together, their absence is felt. Their absence is so felt. You felt like home to them from an emotional space. Not only that, but I was saying, like, they're cleaning their stuff up, like they're getting themselves together. They're doing the work. Like this, the hanged man is therapy in itself. This is someone looking at something, being in an uncomfortable spot, but getting comfortable with the uncomfortableness, and in a way where they're mastering it, where it doesn't feel like foreign to them. It just feels like another stepping stone in order to get them closer to where it is that they want to be, which is next to you. It says the fourth house also speaks of existential homesickness. Remember when I was saying, like, they could be in a room full of people and still feel lonely, but if it was just you and them, they would feel like comfortable. They would feel like they had it all. They would feel good, and they don't have that, and they're understanding, like, this is not where I want to be. This isn't where I want to be. And again, competitive energy is coming in with the surrender in reverse. The Six of Wands talks about victory after a challenge, and they're willing to do whatever it is. Like, so I mean, if this isn't something you're open to, then by all means you have the right to refuse it. That's your right. But at the same time, if it is, which I feel like you came to this video, so obviously a part of you is interested in something. So this doesn't necessarily have to be a rushed process. I don't even feel like it would be. I feel like, with them breaking through these walls or barriers or whatever it is on their own end and within the connection, that in itself is a true test of, like, a testament of hard work and, like, the dedication that they have within themselves. But at the same time, if this is something that you were not necessarily trying to invite back in, and you're just curious to see how they were thinking or how they were feeling, just know that the opportunity for them to come back in is there, but you have the right to refuse it. Nobody's saying, like, oh yeah, but a new romantic cycle beginning. I feel like for majority of you, this is something that you're wanting. This is something that you're inviting in, and you just want to know where their head is at so that you know how to move, which is cool. And the reality of it is that they're making the moves and taking the necessary steps that they need to on their end to build this thing back up in the way that it needs to be built. So you just want to make sure that you're doing the same thing, because if this is just more so like an ego boost, like, oh, not to say you are the antagonist in the story or like you're the villain or anything like that, but at the same time, even if this was a situation where like they did you dirty or they did you wrong or whatever, you have to heal the parts of yourself that allowed that to happen. And in order to do that, you have to take some form of accountability. I say that all the time. It's not here to like point the finger or anything, because whatever is whatever. I don't know anybody's specific situation, but just make sure you're doing the work on your end, so that when you two do come into connection again or contact again, that it is from a mutual, beneficial, and a healthy space. So, and then we have a new romantic cycle of it begins. That's new moon in Libra. It says, give and take could well be the answer to whatever dilemma you're talking about or asking about. Compromise may be called for. It's time to start negotiating or even renegotiating. When the new moon in Libra comes up, there's a restart for you and someone else. A new relationship could be beginning, and if that's the case, the chances are this will be a healthy and well-balanced connection. And anything you do after pulling this card, doing it in pairs is advised, such as teaming up with someone in business or in your personal life. Libra is the sign of relating, and this card suggests that whoever is at the heart of the issue you're addressing is someone who will be open to talking things through. Avoid being selfish. It won't get you anywhere at this time. So speaking of doing the work, you know what I mean? Like I said, if this is something you're listening to for an ego boost, you might want to check that to a certain degree, because there's a part of you that needs to be healing, so that you don't operate from that space. And it's more so like, okay, I genuinely want to know because I want to move forward. Not so much so I want to know if they're suffering or something like that. It's like, at the end of the day, people going to do you how they do you. Granted, you know, we can feel however we want to feel, but when you start like acting into it, that's when it becomes unhealthy. And it's like, all right, you okay over there? So, but yeah, so let me see if I'm picking up on anything else from these cards. I wish I could read the wall obstacles out of the book, but I gotta intuitively draw it. I also feel like, though, with this card, since we're on the topic of it, with it being so dark, I feel like maybe whatever it was that you both, and I just feel called to say it, whatever it is that you both had some sort of falling out or disagreement, whatever it caused you to go into non-contact about, I feel like there's a lot that has not been, that was not said then, and it's still not said now, obviously, because you're not speaking, but it's going to become uncovered because it's dark, but it's also like heavy, like bricks. It's like that, like, you know how, like, I mean, thinking of like building a brick house or anything brick, you do it in layers. You have to like kind of be precise in how it is that you're doing it usually. But with the way this is set up, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it looks kind of like whatever, like we're just gonna put them anywhere. So I feel like there was a time of miscommunication here, and even if you felt like they understood what they did or they understood what you did, there are pieces that are missing that need to be cleared up. So when you do come back into contact, if you so choose to, just take your time with the rebuild and take your time with how it is that you go about communicating. It's okay to ask questions to make sure you heard them right. It's okay to make sure that their intentions and their actions line up, you know, because sometimes intentions and actions don't. And it's okay to try to see the person where they are, because we're all different and we all express ourselves in different ways sometimes. And it's easy to get that mixed up. So I don't know, I just felt called to say that. But again, like I said, as far as this person's thoughts and feelings regarding the situation, they're definitely about to make a move. They're definitely determined to get back in there. They feel like you're home to them. They feel like they want to make this work. They want to do the work within themselves. They are currently doing the work within themselves, whether this is something that you been months out of contact or weeks or days, even hours, like you just came to it. There's some sort of like work that's being done here outside of anything that you can see within themselves that is causing them to self-reflect and see what part they actually played in the situation. And again, you just want to make sure you're doing the same, no matter how minute it may be, so that way the scales are balanced here with this new moon and Libra card. But I feel like it will be. I feel like, you know, you both are on the same page when it comes to wanting this thing for the most part. So this is what I'm getting for you. I hope that it resonates. If so, please let me know down in the comments. Do not forget to like and subscribe as well. And also, booking info will be down below if you want to book a personal session with me. But other than that, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, pile 3, last but not least, it is your turn. So we are going to get into your tarot first, and then we're going to shuffle your oracle cards. Go over your oracle cards. Oh my gosh. So for pile 3s, all right. Yo, these cards have just been like spitting out. For pile 3s, no contact person. You got the 6 of Swords first. All right, no contact person. What are they thinking? What are they feeling? What is going on with this situation, this connection? The Lovers. All right, 2 more. Pile 3 person. How are they feeling? What are they thinking? What is going on with this connection? They're no contact person. What are they thinking? What are they feeling? Oh, okay. 5 of Swords. All right, one more. And the 4 of Wands. Ooh, they love you. And then you have the World at the back of the deck. I feel like every pile has had the World. Like, where it's like, yeah, we're done. At least that's what it feels like. I mean, but I get it though, because with a no contact, you're like, is this it? You know what? That might be a channel song. Look up Jackson 5. What is it? He's like, is this the end? Are you my friend? It seems to me something. You used to be mine when the chips were down. Anyway, first of all, y'all, how is your person feeling? They feel like, wow. Like, I mean, in the other piles, they were what they were, but I just feel like this person really misses you. Like, hard. Like, they're like, they want to make amends. They want to, like, with pile 2, that person was like determined, but it just seemed like they were shut off. But I feel like you both are really like, it's like, why are y'all not talking? I want to know, you know, like this, like that kind of energy. Like, what happened? You know, I feel like this was, they feel like you guys were just a match made in heaven, literally. Like they wanted to do life with you. And I feel like this was, oh man, did somebody like, I don't know why I feel called to say it, but did somebody like cheat or something? Like, was there like some sort of third party situation in this pile where it was like, or like, you know, not even third party to a serious extent, but just more so like somebody came in and like ruffled some feathers, and it was just like, dang, that little ass thing got us, you know, like something silly, like, you know how sometimes when you got a good thing going and then it's always that one person that want to come in and fuck some shit up, you know? That's what I'm feeling with this pile. And I hate that for y'all because I see so much like compatibility here. Like, you got the Lovers, the 4 of Wands, the 6 of Swords. I just feel like y'all had a good thing going. Y'all might have kids together and they just feel like, damn, like my happy home is ruined. That your person is really going through it. I will say that they're thinking, as far as what they're thinking, like regarding the situation, I've already touched on how they feel about the connection, but like as far as the situation, I feel like they think that this is something that's small, like it's something that could have been overcome. Like I feel like they think you've been through way worse. So it's like, how did this do it? Why was this the straw that broke the camel's back? And they're at a point where they want to start over, but they feel like there's some sort of like, it's a dead end. Like, and not that they don't have the willpower or the strength or the motivation to do anything, but they may be leaving the ball in your court and like looking to you to see. Because I feel like the way I'm looking at the card, like they have the leadership qualities. They can, I feel like when things are good, they know what to do. But then when it goes bad, they're just like, oh my gosh, like, well, you may dominate more in that department where it's like, okay, well, the ball is in your court. Because like the way these two are looking, at her. Like, he's looking at her, and then in this pile, he's looking over in this direction, but it looks like he's looking at her too. He's looking at her. It's like, it's all about you. You know, what do you want to do? You know, so I don't know if you're stalling out on having, like, if you're the reason you guys aren't in contact. Maybe they've reached out to you before and you're just kind of ignoring it and you got them on ice. But they definitely want to talk to you. They definitely want to talk to you. They want to figure out how to move forward with this and continue to build this happy home, to get past this hurdle. And even if this wasn't a third party situation, I feel like maybe somebody's friends had a play in this, like an ear in this, or they gave bad advice or something like that. You can't be listening to, look, you can't be listening to everybody when it comes to advice. Let me tell you something, that is not going to get you to the end goal, and that is coming from someone. Let me tell you, that's coming from someone who never did it. Okay. And I knew better. Like, I've seen the effects of what it does when you involve other people and outside your relationship into it. So if that is something like this, yeah, you gotta keep certain stuff to yourself, especially a good thing. It's like, I'm not taking this advice from you, because guess what? People be mad and they be bitter and they just be wanting to blow stuff up out of proportion because they're not in the situation. It's like, half the time you be like, dang, like, I didn't even want to go that far. I didn't have to go this far. Can we fix it? You know, and I feel like that's the space that they're currently in. So whether this was you or them, whatever, like, there was some sort of other energy that came in and manipulated the situation. Not necessarily the whole thing in its entirety. Y'all both definitely made whatever choices y'all did to get to this point. But in the grand scheme of things, I feel like there was something minute, small, like something small that, like, kind of did this. Let's see. We're going to read your oracle cards. Let's see what we got. We got adversity. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. I don't remember how I had these cards, y'all. We got lay of the land, ancestral wisdom. I'll put it here. We got Cancer, immerse. And then we have show the world the real you, full moon in Aquarius. So I feel like I said, with this Six of Swords, I feel like you guys were already coming out of something and they knew how to go about it then. And then it's like you were doing good, and then it like took, like, think 10 steps forward, 8 steps back. I mean, is that how it goes? 10 steps forward, 2 steps back. Shoot, it could have been 8 steps back. Who knows? But it's like, it might have felt like that at the very least. But it's almost like this person doesn't deal with conflict well. Like, they look to you. Like, they really do look to you. They don't know how to I don't want to say, like, I don't know why dominate, because it's not dominate. It's not a domination thing, but they don't know how to take, they may be more passive when it comes to, like, how this connection operates. They may just be kind of like going with the flow. Sorry, I hit the mic. They may be kind of just going with the flow of things, where it's just like, okay, well, ball's in your court. Like I said, they hold you in high regard. Maybe a little too much. If you ever got that feeling, definitely, like, it's like, all right, you know, like, do you know how to, like, I don't want to say, you know how to be, like, walk your own walk, go down your own lane, but maybe they don't. Maybe this is like learned behavior. I was telling one of the other piles something about learned behavior. And the same thing applies here. It's just like you grew up a certain way. With this ancestral wisdom card, lay of the land, this may just be something that's just tied to their bloodline, where they're just like, okay, I just kind of fall back. And it may even come off like nonchalant or like cold even, where it's like, well, damn, like, you want to fight for me or what? But they're just like, well, no, you're not really you're not showing me that you want me to fight, because we're not speaking. So I'm just going to fall back. But I literally do love you. I admire you. Again, like I said, they hold you in high regard. They value your opinion. They value what you think of them and all the good things. But it's just like, maybe it's a bit to the much of, like, it might be like more codependent. And that may be something that they need to kind of, not necessarily, like, as far as emotions and things like that go. Not saying that they should like fall back off their emotions, but just kind of harness them and know how to reel it in a little bit more, because they it's like an overload, but it's not going anywhere. It's kind of just stays contained within themselves, and they don't know how to express themselves, so they don't. But with this adversity, I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. I feel like right now they may be like, I don't know what word overhaul just came to my mind. Overhaul, what does that mean? I think that means like when you, what does that mean? Let me look it up. All right, I looked it up. It means to repair or fix something thoroughly, like to do a complete overhaul. Like you just kind of do away with the old thing and you create something else from that, or you repair what you already have and make it like 10 times better. Like it's almost unrecognizable. At least that's what I got from the definition, but that's also how I'm interpreting it. Is like they're taking the way that they are and creating like this new version of themselves. That may be something they need to do, because it's a lot of learned behavior in here as far as like how to communicate, and even down to like the way you guys disagree. It's just but again, like it's like they primarily are like, oh, okay, I'm on whatever you want, but at the same time, whatever has led to this is they finally not disagreed, but maybe they finally like had something to say and it came off completely wrong, like, or they and it's caused them to be like, not to like kind of retreat in a way. At least that is what I'm getting from this portion of it. So let me read these out of the book and see what we pick up on. So we got show the world the real you, full moon in Aquarius. It says, the teaching here is every full moon is a time to release and let go, but the addition of Aquarian energy to the mix triples that message. Aquarius is the opposite of clingy, and pulling this card at any time suggests either you need to let go or someone is thinking they are the ones who need to let go. Perhaps of you. What needs to go? What is the right thing to do? Whatever happens next could be highly unconventional or unexpected. Yeah, so I feel like whatever this person is typically on, they're not about to be on that when it, like, again, if this is, they're like more passive and stuff like that, they really do want this with you. Now, whether they come back in and tell you that, or you make contact or break the no contact thing and talk to them, they're going to come into it differently, because they're currently in a space where they're learning and unlearning how to be how they were. Like, this is, again, learned behavior. This is who they are at their core, but they're trying to break that mold because they know that it's not beneficial to them, because they know essentially all they want is you. And I heard dang, I'm getting all the songs with you, like All I Want Is You by Miguel and J. Cole. So yeah, like they're definitely in this space where they, again, they may typically feel like the ball's in your court. Okay, how are you going to move on this? So that's why I said if you come back in with something, and they may have more like of that backbone behind them, where it's like, oh wow, I wasn't expecting you to come like this. Or maybe they'll express themselves like, maybe you didn't know all this. Maybe you didn't know they viewed this of you, because they're more passive. They're more like, oh, it's whatever you want. Like, you don't get that feeling from them, but it's there. And I feel like if you were to communicate with them, if you guys did come back into contact, like, this is what I want. Maybe this isn't something, maybe it's something you've said to them, but not in a way that they received it. Because you gotta understand, with relationships of any sort, you gotta be able to speak their language just as much as they gotta speak yours. And I think that that's like that's a lost art, honestly, because that's why so many relationships fail nowadays. And I just saw 333 on the clock. That's why so many relationships fail now, because people they want one thing, but they don't go into it wanting the same for the other person. So that's something that you both are struggling with or battling with. Definitely look into that, because that would do a world of like wonders for the relationship. But it says, this card brings the message from the cosmos that you need to detach a little from whatever situation you're asking about. Someone might be keeping you at arm's length now, but it's no bad thing. It's important for you to allow life to unfold in progress, even if change seems like a frightening prospect. If you've been holding yourself back from showing the world the real you, this card reminds you that your unique characteristics are what make you special. in a relationship? Are you being too aloof or detached? Go ahead and be yourself in whatever is coming up for you. This message is not for you. It's for them. It's like they don't want to express themselves in that way. I said that. I said maybe because I said they can navigate shit when it's all good, but when it's all bad, they're just like looking to you for the next drop. Like, how are you going to act? How powerful are you going to, move on this? And maybe that's just the way the relationship is operated in the whole time, primarily for most of it, whatever the case may be, or maybe it's just a sudden shift that just happened. But either way, this is them like checking themselves. They have to, because they know they want you. They know okay, but at the same time, you may have to meet them in the middle and like reach out if that is something that you are open to. That everybody's gonna be situational. Don't do it if this isn't something that you are completely 100% sure is good to do. But also for some of you, they may even, like, I feel like it's a tiny portion, honestly, but they may even go the extra mile and reach out to you and like just tell you everything that it is that you've been either unsure of or sure of regarding how they feel about you. And then, did I read everything? No, I did. I read everything. But again, the thing that stuck out to me, one of the things was that someone might be keeping you at arm's length, but it's no bad thing. And I think that, again, they're like this right here, this connection out of all three of them, whether you coming from another pile or not. I feel like this one is the one. Like I said, I think I said in the beginning, I'm like, damn, why did y'all stop talking? Like, this just doesn't seem like something that needed to happen. But at the same time, we all need a little space sometimes in order to gather ourselves. And sometimes when we're with each other, we can't see everything we need to see because we're so distracted by the other person. So this could just be like a stepping stone, because I don't feel like this is the end of the situation at all. I don't. Now, it's crazy because with Pile 12, like, if this is something, and I think I might have said it for y'all too, if it's something you feel 100% cool with doing, but I, in my gut, don't feel like, this isn't right. So we'll see. You'll see. So let me read this one. Cancer Immerse. The challenge here says, crabs are hard on the outside but soft and squishy on the inside. Remember that the very defenses you think will keep you safe may actually keep important people out. Soften your shell. You have a backbone and are not protected solely by an exoskeleton. Yes, this just plays right into this shit. Like, oh my gosh. So they're like not they're not the confrontational type. But they come off in like this cold way. So like they don't even probably get into many confrontations. They probably don't even get into many arguments. This may have been a situation where it's like you couldn't read them completely because they're so like, yeah, it's whatever you want, like I said. And you're just like, well, give me more. But they really, really do. They've had inside, it's all inside. It's literally all inside. And when you think about a crab, literally everything that you want is inside. So it's like, it's about them opening up more. And if this is a conversation that you two have had in the past, they're definitely taking note of it. And if it's not, and it's one you'll have once the connection like builds back up, if you so choose for it to, then they'll definitely be able to be more comfortable in that aspect. And they're looking forward to that, to being more comfortable, because they know like, okay, this has to be even. It's not balanced. But I know it's what I want at the end of the day. So what is the work that I need to do to get that done? But then the action here says, be the emotional leader and connect with the parent archetype. If you're in need of parenting yourself, reach out to the divine mother and father, to the earth beneath the sky above, and feel held. Once you feel fed by spirit, it becomes easier to accept the ordinary human limitations of the people around you. If you're called to parent others in this situation, whether in love or work, do so with balanced approach, or for honest feedback and support and self-care. Nurture without enabling. Model what you want others to do. Nourish the connections with your chosen family and tribe. Nourish bodies, gardens, communities, and your temple's herd. Cancer calls us to deepen our relationship to home, but not to get stuck in this protective shell. If you need more out of life, you'll have to leave this safety to find what you need. Find a home base or a safe place within your soul, and from that safety, be ready to brave exploration and risk caring with all your heart. Yes. And I said something about this ancestral wisdom, like learned behavior, right? And it says here, if you're in need of parenting yourself, reach out to blah, 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 you know, all that. But if you're called to parent others, it's just the word parent to me. This may be learned behavior. So based off of how they were growing up, whether they were raised by their parents or someone else, whoever their caregivers were, had a huge influence on the way that they communicate regarding relationships, as with anybody else's. Like, you look at what you've seen before you. And if this isn't a conversation you've had, maybe that's something that will help you guys dig deeper into the relationship here in order to be able to tell, like, okay, this is them and this is not them. This can be changed and this can't be changed, or whatever. Both of you, you know, having that conversation together. So yeah, so pile 3, this is what I have for you. If it resonates, please let me know down below in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to the video, because there'll be plenty more where this came from. Don't forget, also in the description box, you can book a personal session with me if you feel called to do so. But other than that, I thank you all so much for being here, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or your night.